The sound of muffled crying echoed against the cold, tiled walls. It was just after lunch, and the hallway outside the girls' bathroom stood eerily empty. 3 older girls, eyes gleaming with cruel amusement, had cornered a girl half their size. The insults weren't enough. They grabbed her wrists and yanked her inside. She stumbled forward, her books tumbling to the floor, the strap of her backpack snapping under their grip. The bathroom door slammed shut behind them. Her voice trembled as she whispered, "Please, just leave me alone." They only laughed. One twisted her arm while another shoved her toward the far stall. It was the same awful routine: corner her, humiliate her, and leave her shaking in fear. But what they didn't know was that, just 2 hallways away inside the gym, someone was nearby. A tactical SWAT training session was underway. Her father, Sergeant Daniel Rios, was in full gear, leading his team through mock hostage rescue drills. He had no idea his own daughter was about to face the most terrifying moment of her school life. In just minutes, their 2 worlds would collide in a way no one would ever forget. Sofia Rios, the girl no one defended, had always been quiet, petite, soft-spoken, and happiest when drawing in the library's corner. Most classmates barely noticed her, except the ones who mistook her silence for weakness. That year, the bullying had escalated. It began with whispers in the cafeteria, then mocking her clothes, then knocking her books from her hands. Teachers seemed blind to it, too distracted or unwilling to intervene. And Sofia, not wanting to cause any trouble for her father, kept it all to herself. Sergeant Daniel Rios had raised her alone ever since her mother passed away when Sofia was 8. His life revolved around the SWAT team, long shifts, unpredictable hours, constant danger. But at home, he was gentle, protective, always trying to make her laugh. Still, he had no idea about the war she was fighting in the school halls. That Wednesday's lunch break felt like a trap. Sofia sat alone at her usual table, quietly eating the sandwich her dad had made that morning. She was halfway through sketching in her notebook when she heard a snicker behind her. "Hey, Mouse," one of the girls said. It was Jasmine, the self-declared queen of their grade. Behind her stood Maya and Brooke, equally smug. "Nice drawing. Looks like a kindergartner did it." Sofia didn't look up. She quietly closed her notebook and tried to finish her lunch, but Jasmine snatched the notebook from the table. "Oh, little Mouse is shy," she mocked. "Give it back," Sofia whispered. Maya leaned down, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "Or, what, you gonna squeak at us?" They laughed. And then Jasmine's smile twisted into something darker. "Come with us, Mouse. We've got a surprise for you." Sofia's heart pounded. She knew what that meant. Before she could move, they each grabbed an arm and pulled her from the bench. Students saw it happen, but no one moved. The hallway was deserted. Their footsteps echoed as they dragged her toward the far-end bathroom. Sofia struggled, pleading softly. "Please, I didn't do anything." "You exist." "That's enough," Brooke sneered. The bathroom door flew open and they shoved her inside. The sharp scent of disinfectant mixed with the metallic tang of fear in the air. Jasmine locked the door behind them. "Time for a little makeover," she smirked, pulling a pair of scissors from her bag. Sofia's breath caught. She backed up until her shoulder hit the cold, tiled wall. "Please." "No." But her words only made them grin wider. The SWAT drill that wasn't a drill. Meanwhile, in the gym, Sergeant Daniel Rios barked out commands. "Breach. Clear left. Secure the hostage." His SWAT team moved like clockwork, black uniforms and tactical gear blurring with precision. It was supposed to be a routine school safety drill. The principal had invited them to train on campus to help ease parents and staff's concerns. Daniel had been fully focused until a faint, sharp cry pierced the air. At first, it was barely noticeable. A high-pitched sound, muffled. But his instincts kicked in instantly. That wasn't part of the drill. He paused mid-step, turning to his second-in-command. "You hear that?" The man nodded, grim. "Bathroom wing." They moved fast, silent as shadows. Daniel's heart pounded, not from the sprint, but from the cold, gut-level fear rising inside him. He didn't yet know why, but something told him this was personal. Back in the bathroom, Jasmine had cornered Sophia by the sinks. Maya pinned her arms while Brooke held the scissors. The blades glinted under the harsh fluorescent light. "You think you're better than us, Mouse?" Brooke hissed. Sophia shook her head desperately.
"No, please."
The door suddenly slammed open with a force that rattled the walls. 3 SWAT officers in full tactical gear stood in the doorway. Black vests, helmets,
Gloves.
They were like a wall of steel. And at the front stood her father. For a heartbeat, time froze. Sophia's wide, tear-streaked eyes met his. Recognition flashed between them. "Dad," her voice cracked. Daniel's expression shifted, from shock to pure, controlled fury. "Step away from her," he said, his voice low and dangerous. The girls froze. Brooke's hand trembled, scissors shaking. "You have 3 seconds," Daniel said, stepping forward, every inch the man who had stared down armed criminals. 3. Maya dropped Sophia's arms. 2. Jasmine backed away, her hands shaking. 1. Brooke's fingers loosened. The scissors clattered to the floor. Daniel stepped between them and his daughter, wrapping a protective arm around Sophia. His team moved in, escorting the 3 stunned girls to the hallway, where the school security officer waited. Sophia buried her face in her father's vest, sobbing. Gently, he tilted her chin up, scanning her face for injury. "You're safe now, baby girl," he whispered. Outside, students had gathered, eyes wide, as 3 crying bullies were marched down the hall by a SWAT team. Word spread like wildfire. No one ever forgot the day Sergeant Rios found out what had been happening to his daughter. And from that day forward, Sophia was never the shy little mouse again. She became the girl whose father would move heaven and earth to protect her. And the school learned a lesson in courage they'd never forget.